here you go again. Fuck. I know that this is going to be a follow-up to my pretty bad WBD video, but I have to get something out of the way first. I know if I said, if WBD did awful things in the future, time to make a video about it. Well, for a while, my statement on that video might be for two reasons. One, I decided not to make more videos on WBD because that would be more complicated to make, and I'm not part of that social war BS. I just give it a hard pass. Besides, Warner Bros. Discovery has a huge track record for 2023. More on that in a sec. And two, after 2.5 years, I decided to make a video that's quite different than before. Since things change for better or for worse, I was like, why not? So, the WBD stock market was getting higher since December 2022. But throughout 2023 and onwards, the stock market has been going up and down. At least that AT&T stock market has mostly goes up and somewhat down. Okay, so on my script, I was originally going to put they haven't put into recent controversies, but that might be an understatement because I can tell that they're obviously in some controversy. As for that Universal and WBD merger, that unfortunately never happened because even if I might be curious about it, and I thought this new merger will probably kick Zaslav's ass, but shit, it did not merge at all. And it became a rumor, apparently. Oh well, but I did hear people don't like this new decision of merging with the Peacock. Because obviously if they do that then, get ready to face more debt. Oh, and as for Universal themselves, they're not looking good for them. Yeah. So if the merger didn't happen, like, at all, what's next for WBD? Oh no. Well, that's a total shame for WBD, as well as Cartoon Network and the streaming service who is rebranded to Max. Let that shit sink in. Last year for Cartoon Network has been a very rough one. Actually, no, the worst one. They gutted their studio, Zaslav is still removing shows off the streaming service, CN's promo division got laid off, and Adult Swim's Good Luck Coin. Like, damn, this shit is so much worse, it's impossible that we ever get to see more Mao Mao, given that the creator left, so I'd say the second season of Mao Mao is probably dead in the water. And even then, 1 or 2 shows will probably end at some point. Rest in peace. They do have new shows at the very least, but they are the bare minimum to the point that CN only had 2 new shows. 3 if you count Jessica's Big Little World, or Jessica's Little Big World. That show was originally a preschool series as it was before they decided to put on Cartoon Network with 0 Cartoonito advertisement. It's just an ordinary CN advertisement for a preschool show. That's another thing. Cartoonito right now in the US is kind of falling off. Like, since 2022 and onwards, Cartoonito's time slot was shrinking so quickly to the point Cartoon Network has more hours than Nito the Blue Blur. They haven't been active on their Twitter as far as I know, and with their YouTube channel being active, you think that Cartoonito is uploading more videos of stuff in the US. But no. The recent video uploaded from Cartoonito in the US was a full episode of Bat Wheels in October of last year. That's it. And as for the other videos of stuff uploaded right now, were probably done by other territories, as you can tell by the different thumbnails and titles. So what's next for Cartoonito in the US? Well, they decided to move their Cartoonito shows on Max as well as uploading semi-videos of Cartoonito shows on Max Family and treat them like fucking shit with no profit and no promotion. It seems like Warner Discovery doesn't like Cartoonito and just wanted this preschool block to die. In the US, obviously, because there's some 24-hour Nito channels in other countries, but I'm pretty sure they might get shut down or not. Maybe Zaslav will keep Kokobon because that show is fucking thriving. Oh, what's that? As I'm writing this script, I'd say never mind. Pokemon is gone. Cartoonito is alive, as well as their new stuff premiering soon. Despite Cartoonito only lasting for 1 hour and has no promotions. Obviously, those new preschool shows are still being premiered on Max, and also Max, I guess. Since it sucks to see Cartoonito now being treated like shit, including the CEO who didn't want any preschool shows. When it's yet to be premiered, but whatever. But do you know what that does suck? The channel that started to be the best place of cartoons to be the worst place of cartoons now. Kind of. It has the C and the N on it, insert a pastel sound effect, and this is Cartoon fucking Network! I already covered the important stuff, so honestly, what will happen next to the skeleton that is Cartoon Network? Well, they had their current programming, as well as the 2 or 3 new shows currently on CN, but to be honest, they could have more of that. And hey, the Acquired series, which is the Total Drama Island reboot, finally premiered on Cartoon Network and Max in the US in June. So that's good after 14 long-ass months of being shelved, because this isn't the first time it happened. But then again, things could have gone worse with that Totally Spies continuation if they're preparing to shelve it too. Worse than not premiering this show at all and just became cancelled. At least this show, Jade Armor of all things, has released episodes on YouTube instead. I could really bet that CN right now obviously didn't have a vision. as its vision was practically lost to the wave of the CEO who doesn't give a great fuck about it. Now, I'm aware that CN will have like 2 new shows like Fight Girl and Ianu, but it might be on Max the next day since young children are not watching TV because they're obviously watching some sort of content that might be a big mistake. And I mean a big mistake. Besides, if Cartoon Network premieres these 2, the network will probably air like 1 or 2 airings of this show per day, and just mainly focusing on Gumball and Teen Titans Go. Maybe some adults will see those new shows, but what do you have to do when the network was only directed towards quote-unquote kids when they're not watching the channel because adults watch Adult Swim and barely even watching Cartoon Network? What's that again? Oh. It appears that Invincible Fight Girl is moving to Adult Swim. So I guess CN has lost 1 new show of the original IP and only ended up with 1 new show of the original IP. Meanwhile, for Warner Bros. Discovery and this clown with a mind filled with shit, he wanted to cancel projects, shutting down studios or hubs of their former selves, or wanted to merge with Paramount. Yeah, for some reason they wanted to merge with Paramount Global, originally known as Viacom. I never expected these 2 channels, Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, will be under the Warner Discovery name. Or Warner Bros. Discovery Paramount. What a mouthful. I don't know why though, that seems like a horrible idea, especially when Paramount or Viacom was at the time doing the same shit as Warner Discovery. And I thought this merger will probably be the end of both channels as you know it, and even another streaming service merger. But thankfully, it's announced that they will not be merging, so that's great to hear, at least. And I do heard that Bob Bakish got fired from Paramount Global, which now marks the W for never mind. Speaking of firing, why not fire David Zaslav too? Oh wait, Warner can't, because they wanted Zaslav to continue running as CEO until the end of 2027. And if that's the case, then holy shit, that's really unfortunate, isn't it? Very unfortunate enough when I found out that he tax write-off Coyote vs. Acme, when really I thought he was done with the tax write-off nonsense in January of last year. It's hard when a company like this is doing more harm to themselves, and even to CN. They're not dead and they're kind of aware of that. It's that all of this seems really wild and brutal to say the least. Cartoon Network may not have a vision as of now, but it all may change soon. Probably. On June 12, 2024, during an Annecy festival, they have announced some greenlight projects at Cartoon Network Studios, Warner Bros. Animation, and Hanna-Barbera Studios Europe. This includes stuff like the Adventure Time movie and spin-offs, the new regular show project, and even some stuff in between. This might be the mark of a bittersweet future of CN if Michael Oling and someone at Warner Discovery that isn't Zaslav will play their cards right. Because last time, they announced it in December 2022. We had nothing until late 2023 when they premiered 3 shows, I suppose. A full-length Adventure Time movie? Sure, I could take it. But it all depends though. Whether these Adventure Time shows and a movie will be on CN or Max is up to them. Because again, kids are not watching cable. Shocker. I suppose that both Adventure Time and regular show were made for all ages, and even adults. So, if Cartoon Network airs them both, then adults might watch them. Or if it's on Max, then okay. But I choose CN airing both shows, and then on the next day on Max. But considering that Adventure Time was a Max original show since 2020, who really knows at this point? Yeah, one could say that WBD was just bringing IPs back from the dead, but don't worry. Because there's also Cartoon Cartoons, a shorts program with a handful of animated shorts on plate. Sure, it's been radio silence, but seeing some new images on Twitter that's related to Cartoon Cartoons tells me that there's hope someday. And I sure do hope so. I like what they're doing so far with the Adventure Time projects and some of these new shows, even if we don't have another new tagline, so they're sticking with Pastel, or is it Prism? I can't wait to see something new from CN and Max. If it wasn't for Max removing the mainstream shows off the streaming service just 3 or 4 months later, after the Annecy announcement, and recently shelving Cartoon Cartoons. That's wonderful. Way to fuck it all up by removing Gumball and many other shows. I'm convinced that Gumball Season 7 and the new regular show project will be on Hulu instead. Now on to Adult Swim. Adult Swim now is getting better. I know, another shocker, shut up. In 2023, they've been on a roll with their shows. Like American Dad, Rick and Morty, Bob's Burgers, Smiling Friends, and so much more. So much in fact that they decided to gain more hours to 5 p.m. that they had last year with Checkered Past. It's a nostalgia block that aired classic Cartoon Network shows for 2 hours. And it was good. The block even added more of it, which is nice. They only aired it on Mondays to Fridays, only to be Mondays to Thursdays. Because on Fridays, Toonami has taken over the 5 p.m. time slot called Toonami Rewind. And I still say it's good, like Checkered Past, no complaints about it. Now, frankly, Adult Swim has some stuff that were considered to be good chilling TV. Smiling Friends for the win. They did pretty good with the Aqua Teen continuation, even if that only lasted for 5 episodes. So that's it for them.
Oh, great.
But Rick and Morty, despite its flaws, did felt like it's the staple of Adult Swim. It's not perfect though, and you can tell by the later seasons. But hey, it's here to stay for more seasons. Especially when this show will move on without its original creator, just like The Loud House. The show even got an anime series that turned out to be... American Dad was also poppin' during the time, having new episodes and never giving up the schedule unlike Family Guy. Nothing more to say about this other than it's okay. Smile and Friends was definitely an interesting case, and even for season 2. Doing so well on Adult Swim that even have episodes like Ellen gained paperclips while hijinking Sinsu, and even others that this show had. More props to them. Definitely the show that's worth watching, even for this show getting a 3rd season. Royal Crackers. It's not for me. Oh yeah, and Brack from Space Ghost is here to stay, with reruns of Cartoon Planet including new bumpers of Brack as a puppet, not counting that Jellystone episode from season 3, although that episode was pretty cool. Now, it seems like me gushing about the shows on Adult Swim, but to be honest, they had a lot, especially the Cartoon Network shows being moved to Adult Swim. Which is Warriors of Turtle and Superman, given that Superman now has 2 seasons and is getting renewed for a 3rd season. I really can't say the same if Warriors of Turtle get another season, but at least that show has the chance to be aired on Adult Swim with 1 season. Speaking of Superman and Warriors of Turtle, more CN shows are being aired on Adult Swim. As I said earlier, you see shows being moved here like the classic CN shows, and recently one cartoon, Cartoon Planet, and the new show, Invincible Fight Girl. Invincible Fight Girl now has a new home on Adult Swim. In fact, I actually dig a little deeper and find out that the new Gremlins series was originally going to premiere on Cartoon Network Zackby Night, but it was moved to Adult Swim, and it will premiere in September 2023, and now since it's 2024, we obviously knew it did happen. Maybe someday, though. Also, Zackby Night is now an Adult Swim blog, so they might as well not promote them anyways because WBD said so. The blog itself has did fucking dirty, just like Max. And regardless of these Adult Swim shows being removed off of Max, they have them up for free on the Adult Swim app and website. I mean, what can I even say? Adult Swim has the guts to do anything than Cartoon Network. And as ironic for me to say that, it's true since, again, adults out there are interested on Adult Swim. They're interested on adult shows, they're interested on anime, they're interested on seeing their favorite shows from the 90s to early 2000s on a nostalgia block. I really can't blame them because of how much they're doing so well in the era of dying television and entertainment fatigue. Hell, they're going to have a shit ton of newer shows coming to Adult Swim. And I guess Max, an already rebranded streaming service that turned out to be mid, but at least they give us stuff like Harry Potter, South Park, some cool movies, and even Quiet on Set, which you have to watch that. I highly recommend it. There is nothing I could really see on Adult Swim, so I guess we should move on now. So with all things clear and out of the way, what's next for Warner Bros. Discovery as a whole? Well, they're just doing the same bullshit that we heard about them recently, which is not good. And given to the fact that Warner Discovery is still wanted to merge with Paramount, but this time on streaming services, to splitting WBD in half instead of separating them, all I could say is, I don't know about this, Kick. That seems like a really bad idea. Paramount, again, has gotten some really bad shit, especially Nickelodeon. So if these 2 streaming services will merge all together, you think that the UI and function will work. It's not. I'm better off having Max as its own streaming service from the Chad Warner Brothers and the Virgin Discovery. Unless they decide to make a new streaming bundle with Max, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu. And Peacock. I was going to say how bad it was for WBD to split in half, not because of unmerging 2 companies as some people may think, but because of splitting its digital streaming and studio business from its leader television networks. But I don't have to, because apparently they regretted it and determined that this may not be the best option at this time. Yeah, because of an idea like that will definitely flop hard, even for Zaslav. I think I'm done here. It's really insane to think that a company this big knows how to fuck it up in literal months. There's no going back from this. But on the bright side, with a silver lining intact, we are getting newer shows on Adult Swim and Cartoon Network as I stated earlier, so that might fill the hole on both of these networks, even though Cartoon Network's newer shows were just revivals with less new IPs on its belt. We do also can't forget that the Animation Guild is going on strong, mainly artists, storyboarders, and animators. This happened around during the summertime, and the Animation Guild is pretty much powerful, which is pretty cool, so they can have better pay and better treatment. And you know, they should fire this guy. If there will be a conclusion to end things off, it will be this. Please support the union, don't let these companies get away with this nonsense, and block AI because it's a pile of peacock shit. Seriously, these stupid people are already using this mess. Better hope they might get hit with copyright infringement. That's all I have, actually. Peace out and good night. Phew, that's 14 minutes of editing and script data. Now to give me some water. Oh, hello, Darkme. What do you want? Well, it's hard to put words. But after you're done with your video, this happened. Yep, we're cooked, whether they survive or not. What the actual fuck?